If you ain't talking money, then I don't want to talk.
Still gon' stunt. Diamonds look like they glowing. 50 stacks all singles, I make it look like it's snowing. Treat them like jack boys, catch them slipping and slang them. Treat them like jack boys, catch them slipping and slang them. Tell them still gon' stunt. Diamonds look like they glowing. 50 stacks all singles, I make it look like it's snowing. Treat them like jack boys, catch them slipping and slang them. Treat them like jack boys, catch them slipping and slang them. Diamonds look like they glowing. 50 stacks all singles, I make it look like it's snowing. Treat them like jack boys, catch them slipping and slang them. Treat them like jack boys, catch them slipping and slang them. Then them still gon' stunt. Diamonds look like they glowing. 50 stacks all singles, I make it look like it's snowing. Treat them like jack boys, catch them slipping and slang them. Treat them like jack boys, catch them slipping and slang them. Diamonds look like they glowing. 50 stacks all singles, I make it look like it's snowing. Treat them like jack boys, catch them slipping and slang them. Treat them like jack boys, catch them slipping and slang them. Then them still gon' stunt. Diamonds look like they glowing. 50 stacks all singles, I make it look like it's snowing. Treat them like jack boys, catch them slipping and slang them. Treat them like jack boys, catch them slipping and slang them.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to tonight's entertainment. Welcome to the We-On-Loc Nation channel. Breaking news, some good news, some awesomely good news, but we're not out the woods quite just yet. The young man that was arrested for unaliving a young boy out of a football team. They were both on football teams. Austin Metcalf. Carmelo Anthony had his sentence reduced from $1 million to $250,000, and that is an awesome thing because $1 million was a bit much. Now, the person in charge, the judge in charge in releasing him and putting him on house arrest was by the judge by the name of Miss Angela Tucker. Now, I do appreciate Miss Angela Tucker for reducing his sentence because, like I said, number one, $1 million was a bit much, and number two, he's in the state of Texas, where I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but most black people in Texas don't have that type of money, and it's just something ridiculous anyway. But we're not gonna waste no time. We're not gonna waste no time with it. We're gonna get right into it. And if you have any comments, comment in the comment section. I'm twisting over my words because I just ate a juicy burger out of a victory, out of a semi victory, but we don't want to celebrate quite just yet because he's not out of the woods quite just yet. They were asking his lawyer a whole bunch of questions. Why did he have the knife and blah, 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 blah. But we'll get into that. Let's get into the first video, shall we? And that is this low-life scumbag, Megyn Kelly.
Like, if this didn't need to happen.
Right.
The 17-year-old assailant, Carmelo Anthony, is arrested and charged with murder over the stabbing death of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf. It happened on April 2nd. Austin and his twin brother and this Carmelo Anthony, who belonged to a different school, were all at a track meet as spectators. And I don't totally understand because I've heard different versions of this, but it appears that at the track meets, they would set up these tarps and then various kids would hang out under the tarps. And Austin and his twin brother and a group from their school were under one tarp. There were many tarps. And Carmelo Anthony, who was from a different school and definitely not part of their posse, came under the tarp and appears to have sat in Austin's seat. Again, the allegations on exactly where he was and what the offense was, it remains somewhat fuzzy to me, but it was definitely under a tarp at a track meet. And the allegation is that Austin went over to Carmelo. This is from the police report, that Austin went over and Austin told Anthony that he needed to move out from under their team's tent. And Anthony grabbed his bag, again, quoting here, this is a full description. Officer Taylor Wetzel wrote this based on what a witness told him. Then Carmelo Anthony grabbed his bag after being told he had to move and reached inside of it and proceeded to tell Austin, "Touch me and see what happens." No one really thought Anthony really had a weapon in his bag. And Austin proceeded to touch Anthony. And then Anthony told Austin to punch him and see what happens. A short time later, Austin grabbed Anthony to tell him to move. And Anthony pulled out what was recalled as a black knife and stabbed Austin once in the chest and then ran away. Another officer spoke to two witnesses, one being the victim's twin brother, Hunter Metcalf. They were hysterical. So what we're hearing from Carmelo Anthony's defense lawyer is that they're going to argue this was self-defense. That, he said, touch me and find out what happens. And then Austin touched him. And therefore he was in fear and pulled out a knife. I mean, you could argue self-defense if he had pulled out his fists and started punching Austin Metcalf. We wouldn't be here. The law would not be involved. But Mark, he pulled out a knife and stabbed him in the chest.
Let's just say for the sake of argument, if Carmelo Anthony were to punch this dude in the throat and he couldn't breathe and he collapsed right then and there, you would have everything to say. That's how low down and dirty scum you really are. Because it doesn't make a difference what a black man does in this country. It really doesn't make a difference if he's not working, if he's a model citizen, and if he's working and he's doing his job and he's raising his family, and he does one wrong thing, he's a criminal, he's a crook, he's a thief, he's this, he's that, he's a degenerate. White folks have no shame. But let me continue.
And you tell me, but the self-defense laws in Texas and in all states require proportionality.
Of course. And when I said, of course, that's a defense, it's because you're not going to argue insanity, and you're not going to argue it was, someone else who did it. It's clearly going to be self-defense. And the question is, do the facts rise to the level where he reasonably feared death or great bodily harm from this guy? And that hinges upon really, what are the witnesses saying? We don't have all the statements. Maybe there's a few who say that the victim did grab him, because I did read that occurred. I've heard touching, I've heard grabbing. I don't know. But if it was just like you read, I think that falls short of reasonably believing death or great bodily harm. And here's the other thing. The other thing is, he was the instigator. He, meaning the defendant. That's a problem. When you're the instigator, when then you're the initial aggressor, I think you might lose some protections that you normally have.
Can't claim self-defense. That's exactly right. If you started it, and the other guy is like, okay, let's go, then you can't say, I had to do it to protect myself. Here is Tim Pool. He's a podcaster, Arthur. He was on his show talking about this, and I'd love to get your reaction to what he says here. Watch.
Imagine you are invited to a party at someone else's house, and you are legally carrying a firearm. And then a fight breaks out, and or like an altercation breaks out between you and some guy, and there's drinking involved or whatever. I'm not trying to make a 1-for-1 scenario. I'm trying to create a potential scenario separate from this one with similarities. You go to a party. Let's say you go to a party, and some guy starts saying stuff like, "Yo, man, get out of here." And you're like, "I can do what I want. I was invited to the party." Verbal altercation escalates, and then the dude, you're standing there, and you pull your sweater back, and you've got a gun. And you put your hand up and say, Don't come close to me, bro. I'm warning you right now. Do not come close. Do not take another step." Then the guy grabs your arm and makes a move. So you draw your weapon and you use it. Okay. Make the argument. You have no right to defend yourself when you're being attacked by a guy. Make the argument. By all means, go ahead and do so. I ain't going to do it.
That's a ground ball. That's a ground ball. I mean, that's a law school where you can't. So, sorry, you have to get punched in the face. You're not allowed to execute someone with a gun who's going to punch you in the nose. And just the way the law is, I believe, in all 50 states. You just said it, Megan. There's a proportionality. Let me just tell you how this case is going to get handled in Texas with this 17-year-old. How it should get, and then this is the reality, and Mark will back me up. Our guy Glosh is going to get hired. He's going to get some kind of a child psychologist or some kind of child psychiatrist. They're going to do a whole buildup of this kid, who he is, where he's from. The defendant I'm talking about, who he is, where he's from, what his background is, any kind of mitigation whatsoever. And then you're going to go in and you're going to sit down with one of the lead prosecutors of the Homicide Bureau in that jurisdiction, and you're going to be like, look, you and I know that based on the witnesses, based on the evidence that we have, yes, there's a possibility I could go in front of a jury with a straight face and say self-defense, but that's too big of a risk for a 17-year-old kid who might spend the rest of his life in jail. We're not minimizing the loss of life of another 17-year-old, but let's not try to have two absolute complete tragedies. And let's talk about a real number, where the kid's going to spend a lot of time in jail, but not the rest of his life in jail, which would probably be the case if he goes to trial and loses, and you sit down and two qualified lawyers, very experienced lawyers, with the approval of the judge, work out some sort of plea bargain. This is not,
that makes perfect sense.
This is not a trial.
But there's a lot behind these two sides right now. People are lining up on both sides of this case. The GoFundMes for each guy are almost exactly the same amount. Let's call it $325,000 that people have donated to both, because people defending Carmelo Anthony think that this was self-defense and he's getting railroaded potentially because he's black. And people on the Metcalf family side say this is outrageous. At worst, if you take all the allegations about Austin Metcalf as true, at worst, what he did was put his hands on a guy who refused to leave a section that he wasn't seated in, and put his hands on him at the guy's invitation to say, try to make me. And you don't get a knife in the heart for that. I'll read you the law on self-defense in Texas.
Again, people like this just automatically assume that Carmelo Anthony just did this on purpose. Like he had a choice in the matter of just turning around and just stabbing people just to be stabbing people. That wasn't the case at all. Let me tell you how this works in a real life situation. Hello, Cynical One. When you are getting into an altercation with someone and they put their hands on you, the first time around, it's a warning. The second time around, when you put your hands on me, ain't no other warning. You used up the warning. Now it's, I have options. I literally have options to destroy you if I wanted to. Because nowadays, people are walking around with guns in their hips, with knives in their back pockets, so you don't know which one is which. And to top that off, you're in Texas, so everything is big in Texas. So and this is a standard. This is a stand your ground state. Interesting. So when you put your hands on a particular person that Metcalf had no business putting his hands on this young man, Metcalf could have had just found an officer, found security, talked to his coach, talked to all the adults in the area that was surrounding it. I'm surprised again. I am surprised that no adult got involved. No adult got involved and said, don't do that. Do not do that to Metcalf. So that kind of baffles me. That's number one. Number two, the officer that detained Mr. Anthony did not read him his verbal rights. So that's a big mishaps. That's going to be a big mishaps in this case, because he ended up spilling the beans and saying that he did it in fear of what might happen to the kid. Did he want to get into a altercation with Metcalf? No, he did not. But apparently, again, there's one particular gap between what happened at that time and the words that came out of Anthony's mouth. From the time when he grabbed them or pushed them or punched them, I'm getting two different stories. I'm getting 2 or 3 different stories here. He either punched, pulled, or grabbed. Either way, it's wrong, and I wouldn't blame the kid if he would have socked him in the mouth or something. The next one, you got this whole big hole right here that's saying, punch me and see what happens. So did Anthony get punched? We don't know. But let's just assume he did. So he just his bag was automatically open and he just grabbed a knife and just stabbed the boy in the chest? Or was he in a motion? Was he in such a motion, fight or flight mode, and he was attempting to stab him in the arm just to get him away? Or he just accidentally just hit him in the chest? Now, it wouldn't have been done on purpose, because the boy had never said, is he okay, as he saw with tears in his eyes. This is in the police report. So white folks have a funny way of putting things in perspective and spinning it as if this black kid was so guilty and has a perfect record. It has never been to jail, never committed any type of murder, never did any type of drugs, but he held a gun. He held a gun in the picture. Ooh-wee. He's a thug. He's a murderer. He should spend the rest of his life in jail. It's not even a murder case like that. He'll probably do time served, sentence of manslaughter. That's worst case scenario. and he'll be out in 5.
Person is justified in using deadly force against another when and to the degree the actor reasonably believes the deadly force is immediately necessary, A, to protect the actor against the other's use or attempted use of unlawful deadly force. So it's not any kind of force or bodily harm. It's you have to reasonably think that you need to immediately use deadly force to prevent unlawful deadly force against you. Or, and here, okay, let's see, maybe Carmelo Anthony has something under the or clause, to prevent the other's imminent commission of aggravated kidnapping, murder, sexual assault, aggravated sexual assault, robbery, or aggravated robbery. Not even aggravated assault is listed there. So
Megan, Arthur was 100% correct, articulate, passionate in exactly assessing how this is going to go down, if this be handled reasonably. Whether it's me representing him or you don't take the risk of going to trial with these facts, assuming there's no additional facts we don't know about. Like, did the kid say, I'm going to kill you now, and then he stabs him? And again, I'm making stuff up. I don't know. You'll sit down with the prosecutor, you evaluated, the prosecutor all and give reasonable out. Maybe you like the judge is compassionate and reasonable. You look for some type of downward departure below what he would normally be getting, and you look for some compassion from the judge. But politics will play a huge role in this case.
Megan, in terms of the GoFundMe stuff, the biggest joke about the GoFundMe stuff has got to do with that kid, Luigi Mangione, who executed the executive, and the women are sending him letters. And people are saying, oh, he's got a chance at trial. People are into him. Yeah, wait until those 12 jurors see the deceased wife on the witness stand who has to identify the body and talk about how her kids missed their father and they went for him executing him over and over again. Stop it. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, we're just not going to get to, and I just said we're not going to get to the point in this country where what's foreseeable is a knife to the heart among 17-year-old boys who are scuffling, even arguing impolitely. I don't know exactly what happened. We'll find out over a seat at a track meet. Like, that's just, no one is going to interpret the law to say it was a reasonable response, because that's what self-defense is trying to factor in. Was your response reasonable under the circumstances? You know, Texas has got the castle doctrine where you don't have to retreat. If somebody comes into your home, you got your gun, you can shoot them. So this isn't that. This is not that. This kid got asked a question, you know, please leave, or told.
Yeah, this is America. You're allowed to
obviously they don't know.
I mean, this is America. You're allowed to defend yourself, aren't you?
Say that again.
America, you're allowed to defend yourself, aren't you?
Yeah, but according to them, there's ways to defend yourself without killing a person. No, someone violates your space, you have options. You have options to take them down or to get rid of them, remove them from the earth. Totally.
But let's say you're in immediate danger, you got to take their life. It's you or them, and you get to let yourself decide. And that's what Carmelo Anthony did. Ain't nothing wrong about what he did. Let's talk about Kyle Rittenhouse, what he did, and how he got away with what he did.
Let's talk about Trayvon Martin and what he had to go through. Let's talk about Jordan Davis and what he had to go through. Let's talk about Ahmaud Arbery, what he had to go through. Hell, let's talk about what happened with Dylan Roof, shall we? I mean, the list goes on and on and on with these people.
It's like white
and
people.
Yet we don't have any rights to defend ourselves.
Yeah, it's like these. I don't want to call them Ritz crackers, but they're victimizing everybody. Yet they play victim themselves. It doesn't make sense. A lot of things don't make sense, but then you see their facade, their crocodile tears, and then you find out what they're truly doing, and it's some unholy shit. Like, playing victim is a business for these people. That's how they get lawsuits, and lawsuits cost millions.
Millions.
Oh, millions.
Millions. But now that he's released and he's on house arrest, I'm just waiting for everybody and their mama and every coon on YouTube to make a complaint about this boy being on house arrest. Oh, the judge. Oh, this is a black judge. Oh, this is a female judge. Oh, the female judge got him off. Oh, wait.
Bruh, even
like,
Chaotic Truth is celebrating Carmelo Anthony's bail.
that is shocking to me.
You know why he's doing it? He's doing it to troll his white audience. He's trying to troll this one guy, what's his name? Imperious. He's trying to like fool Imperious. He's trying to rage bait them.
He actually, when I first check this out there, when I first heard him,
check his profile picture on Twitter.
I will, but check this out. When I first heard him, my jaw dropped to the floor. I said, "Hold on, there's an ulterior motive here."
Yeah.
Because normally you wouldn't say stuff like that. Normally you would say, put him under the jail.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like his profile picture on Twitter. He actually has Carmelo Anthony's face on his profile picture.
I don't trust it. I just think he's just getting this paper right now. I just think he's losing what little audience that he has. And he's just trying to get it. But I don't quite trust it just yet. I don't trust it at all. But what do you think? You think he's gonna get off, or I mean, I don't know.
People and set up a fight on YouTube.
Who?
I think people are using this topic to rile up fights. You know, like people on the other side of the white sphere.
No. I'm talking about Carmelo. You think Carmelo's going to get off?
Of course he is. It was self-defense. What else does it look like?
Well, I will say this. I will definitely say this. We don't know the full aspects of how this whole thing happened. We just know through hearsay. But I would love to see the police cam footage of what, even though it's very small, but it's intentive. I would love to see the police cam footage of this very boy and how his reaction was, because people are saying that he just ran off. No, he didn't ran off. He turned himself in, and when he turned himself,
he had empathy for like what he did. But then the system took advantage of his empathy.
By not reading him his rights.
Yeah, by not reading him his rights. That's exactly what happened.
I mean, did not read him his Fifth Amendment rights. You had the right to remain silent. Anything you say will be used against you in the court of law. If you do not have attorney, one will be provided for you. Mm-hmm. That is your Fifth Amendment. And he kept incriminating himself. Now they can use that against him. Yep. So unless his defense lawyer said that his rights was violated, and this could possibly be the icing on the cake, I don't know, because there were also witnesses. And speaking of witnesses, all this could have been prevented if all the adults that were around these young men, mm-hmm. I find that strange that no one had gotten involved.
I have a theory about that.
Ooh.
So the theory is the teachers in on him being bullied by the white boy. They were in on it. They were in on the action. He called him the N-word. He had too much, and apparently he had to do what he had to do to defend himself. His safety was at risk. And they called him the word, and that was his go-to call. He knew he was going to get hurt. Because when people say bad things to people know that it's a warning sign that they're going to get hurt. And the teachers and other students did not record it when they were beating him up. But as soon as he pulled out the knife, they started recording that. They didn't record what was off the screen. They recorded what was on the screen. They turned the screens on when the tables turned. You see what I'm saying?
I can see that, And I would not doubt if what you're saying is true and it is presented in a jury, in a 11 trial jury. But guess what? Know what I found out?
What?
In that jury, in that trial, and if there's going to be a trial, most likely it will. But when there's a trial, you're going to have mostly white folks on that trial.
Yeah, that's messed up.
Yeah, that's what was told. So, how are we going to convince? Although he has a white lawyer, how is he going to convince 12 white jurors that this was self-defense? That is going to be a hurdle.
Mhm.
Now it's not like what happened with Thurgood Marshall, and Thurgood Marshall got this a black man off. No. This is not like Johnny Cochran, how he got OJ off. Oh no. This is a regular, everyday, average Joe Schmo, yeah. And this is going to be This is going to be very, very, very interesting.
I'm sure he's gonna beat it.
With 12 white jurors.
No,
You believe
there'll be another cultural war in America, and this time, the non-whites are gonna win. I'm pretty sure about it. If everybody just stands up for this kid and just says he didn't do nothing wrong, keep saying that on repeat, and then apparently the cops will have to admit defeat.
I don't know.
Or there has to be some footage out there. There has to be some footage that is in his favor out there. I've been looking on Instagram for days, but couldn't find nothing. I found the closest thing to it I found was.
Well, they're gonna release the cop cam footage on the trial jury. The other stuff, they said that like I said, they had witnesses. They said that they had witnesses. So there's a what?
There was a fight page on Instagram somewhere. I was like looking at it, and then it got deleted while I was finished watching the video. They put it on a fight page in North Texas.
That's strange and illegal. Well, let's see what this says.
I can say the judge has made the call, and so what's important is what's next. Frisco PD will be finishing up their investigation. They will submit the case to my office. We will review it and ultimately present it to a grand jury. And so that's what's next. That's pretty much all I can say right now. We do our speaking as far as the facts go in the courtroom. Many of you were in there, so you understand what was said. But this is a terrible tragedy for our entire, not just Frisco, but Collin County community. One family has suffered a permanent loss. It's the most unnatural thing for a parent to lose their child. It's permanent. It's profound. It's certainly premature, and it's the hardest thing that I think a human being can go through is to lose their child.
Well, people die every day. What's the big deal when it's a white guy?
That's his lawyer. That's his lawyer. That was Metcalf's lawyer. This is Carmelo Anthony's lawyer.
Damn. Same guy.
We can't do this in here. 5 more seconds. 5 more seconds? Okay. Every Texan has the right to defend themselves when they reasonably fear for their life. Self-defense is a protection that applies to each and every one of us. There are two sides to every story. And Carmelo is a 17-year-old kid and an excellent student. He is the captain of his track team. He is the captain of his football team. And prior to this, what was on his mind was what college he was going to go to. This is a tragedy all the way around for both things. Rushing to judgment, trial by public perception and trial by media is not how we ensure justice is done. We are confident that after a full investigation, that the truth will come out. Thank you.
Mike, you took umbrage with the state's assessment that this was simple and brutal. Why so?
Well, the fact of the matter is, like I said, there's two sides to every story, and we've only heard one side. In any criminal case, the police investigate, and the defense is always far behind that. And so it is a one-sided investigation to this point, and even that investigation is still ongoing. So to say that it happened this way or that way is just not accurate at this point. All of the facts are going to come out, and that's why our system of justice requires that we keep our minds open and we let the facts come out as they are after a full investigation.
No.
This merely tells us pretty much not too much, but again, I'm just waiting for people just to make the excuse that he's just as guilty as charged. He should have just walked away, fight or flight, etc., etc.
Some people would even say, why you even had a knife on him that day? But then here's what I would say to them.
That's what the lady asked him. That's what the lady asked him. That's what the lady asked him.
He knew something was going to pop off that day, which is why he made a plan to defend himself. But
And
then
you know
again,
what they're
when
going to
they
tell him?
plan,
And you know what they're going to tell him? They're going to tell him, then why did you even bother to come there in the first place? Number one, I have a right to go anywhere that I want to go. Number two, there ain't no seats. There are no seats that are assigned at a track meet. But apparently he was underneath someone's tent because it was raining that day. He could have easily just walked up and said, could you please get out of our seats, even though it was an assigned seat? I'm not going to put my hands on you. What I'm going to do, if you're a problem, I go to what? Security. And I tell you, you are a problem, and security will move you. Now, it will be...
I guess he put him by the bag, right? The harness of the bag was strangling his neck. So he pulled out the knife and defended himself.
You say he was doing what now?
See,
he was strangling his neck?
The white boy put him by his bag, right? The bag had a harness around his neck. He was tying the bag around the guy's neck. So he probably stabbed him. You know the harness thing on the bag, on the backpacks? He was trying to strangle him with one of those.
I know. But now I'm hearing two different stories. One, I'm hearing that I even heard that Metcalf strangled him or put his hands around him. Okay, so he put his hands around his neck. Okay. So then the next thing that I hear, he punched him, right?
Yeah.
Metcalf or Austin punched Carmelo.
Mm-hmm. Carmelo had the intent to survive.
And we're talking a 5'9", 130-pound boy, Carmelo Anthony, versus someone who is 6 feet tall. Yes, he is out. Yes, and it was because of a woman. Yes, ma'am, it was because of a woman. And Judge, what's her face? I forgot what her name was. Judge Crockett, whatever. But anyway, now I'm hearing. Okay, you got pushed, you got
strangled,
damn near strangled, and then you got punched. Now, and if that is
honestly,
not
a
means to defend yourself, I don't know what is. If people are often asking why did he bring a knife to the track, it's the same goddamn reason why white folks bring guns to a grocery store.
I mean,
A
people should have the right
family
to defend themselves regardless of what the offender's race is. People should defend themselves, not worrying, oh, if I defend myself from this person, are they going to label me an anti-white, anti-black? No, you have to defend yourself no matter the color of person who's putting their hands on you. It's a universal principle, self-defense.
But when you get politics involved, you have no other choice. And then everybody gets involved. And then you got people on the other side getting involved. On Fatty's show, you had a duration of people. You had white folks and you had black folks, right? Mm-hmm. You had mostly black folks defending Metcalf. And then you had mostly white folks defending Carmelo Anthony. It was very strange. Very strange that day.
Strange times.
Yeah, it is. All right,
I mean,
let's get.
But on a logical point of view, Carmelo didn't do nothing wrong.
Well, in his.
I mean, self-defense.
I will say this. If he gets off, he's getting probation. And if he does get off without any sentencing, something may happen. Something might happen
to him. Then he might really need to carry something.
No, because they might have to move to a different city or whatever. But it's just crazy. But like I said, I'm just waiting for Anton. I'm just waiting for Charleston White. I'm waiting for all these knuckleheads just to come on board. The Coon train has not stopped. The Coon train has not left the station. It's just gonna keep going and going and going. Ain't nothing this boy did wrong except for go to class.
Self-defense.
Yes, be a good boy. And what was his grade point average? His grade point average was a 3.7 GPA.
3.7. That's hot. I never had that myself. I had a 2.7, but this guy's not doing levels.
A 3.7 GPA. Well, it's on top. It should be right about here. So it's still in the chat if you want to come up, brother. But it's more likely, right? It's more likely that people are going to frame him as being a thug. Okay, fine, cool. I don't know any thugs. I don't know any murderers that have a GPA or a 4. Let's call it a 4.0, a 4.0 grading average, unless you're a psycho.
Well, you don't look like no psycho to me.
10-year-old kid.
I mean, he's a normal kid defending himself.
But in the state of Texas, you're not allowed to defend yourself.
Wait, what? But Texas is all about self-defense.
Read between the lines.
Oh, yeah.
When you're in the state of Texas, you're not allowed to defend yourself.
Oh, shit, it's one of those Confederate states.
It is a Confederate state. It is a Republican state.
Mm-hmm. Red.
So, let's just say let's just say, for example, right? I wouldn't be surprised if Donald Trump didn't say certain things in anger, in earnest, to have this boy canceled. I would not be surprised. I would not be shocked at all. Because of the things that are happening in this country, I will not be shocked. But let me play a little bit more of this.
I anticipate that he will be able to make bond. I can't speak to how quickly that will go. You know, funds, in the funds that have been raised are not quick to come out. And then, there's obviously a process to the release process once bond is posted.
The big question that a lot of people have is, why was this young man armed on school property?
That's an understandable question, but it's not something that, frankly, we're prepared to even go into. This is something that I know the police and the prosecution want to get it right and want to have a full and fair investigation, and so do we. So it would be irresponsible for me or them at this point to start saying, this is what happened, this is why, anything. So I understand that's a big question. It's going to be a big question, and it's something that we will find out, and we ask that the public, as hard as it is, withhold judgment and let both of these families have justice, that let both of these young men, the Metcalf family and the memory of who they've lost, but also Carmelo, have a fair and full justice process.
Ultimately, your feeling on the reduction of this bond, you feel it's fair?
Yeah, I feel it's fair. Bond, as the judge said, is not supposed to be an instrument of oppression. It's not supposed to keep people in jail. It's not supposed to punish. It's supposed to ensure that a person shows up to court, complies with all conditions, and it's supposed to keep the community safe. So this is a large and substantial bond, and the judge has, I think, rightly imposed reasonable conditions that will ensure both Carmelo and the Anthony family's safety, but also the safety of the community.
This is, do I want to say it's tricky? No, it's not tricky.
I mean, if you have money,
But then again, it's going to be difficult because.
I mean, if you have money,
it's not about the money. Wait, say that again?
I mean, if you have money, you can make the legal system spin your way. If your color is green, pretty much the judges will swing your way. That's how it is in some countries, at least. If you can pay your bail and the release and everything.
I'm more worried about the outcome where this boy is, number one, is he going to have a fair trial? Because it's very funny, right? Because I've been involved in these situations before, and when it came to jury duty.
If the guy's not behind bars, then they will just send him out of this earth. Like, if let's say they release him, some vengeful Ritz crackers would want their revenge on him.
Most likely his brother. Most likely.
I think he's got to switch countries.
But check this out. You're going against everything that you stand for at that point because face it, I thought you were supposed to be these good Christians. Mm-hmm. Christians are not supposed to take vengeance upon one that has
wronged them,
murdered one's family, for vengeance is God's, right?
Exactly.
But in this specific world that we live in this American, this right to work, not right to work, but right to bear arms state, the Second Amendment, the Constitution. You have the constitutional right to defend yourself upon the law. Oh no, you do not.
Oh, the fun
no,
shit.
You do not. I've seen these things come and I've seen these things go. I've seen prosecution. I've seen people being released. They're talking about releasing the dude that murdered George Floyd.
What, the cop? Darren
Sherman, yeah.
I mean, Dunham Sports, man. He might have to visit Dunham Sports one day.
Dunham Sports.
Dunham
No,
Sports.
they're gonna take away most of the stuff. I don't even know what they're gonna do with. Is he allowed in school? Is he going to still participate in school? They shouldn't take away his education. He
They wouldn't
should
take away his
still.
education, they'll take away his safety. Let's say there's some vengeful Christians out there, and he might have to go to Dunham Sports to get a pew pew. I mean,
Forget
what
it.
is
Forget it. He has that. He has that at home already.
yeah.
Him and his father. They have that at home. My main concern is he going to still have? Is he still going to be educated?
Now that's where the problem comes in, because they don't want him around the school because he states the vibes with these people.
Well, maybe he could do online schooling. Maybe he could. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they can send
online
him.
schooling, and it wasn't even that great, but it got me through.
I mean, you have no other choice, man. I mean, you've done.
Man, all of the coronavirus, I was online schooling. 4 years online high school.
I just don't see it. I just don't see the outcomes.
Let's say he goes back to the school, right? What if the guy has friends that are looking for his ass? Then what is he going to do then? What if he's in that same situation again?
I'm sure he has friends. They don't even go to the same school.
Oh,
they don't even go to the same school. But I wouldn't be. But then again, I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if any of these white boys went up to that school and try to do him something dirty. But then again, he would have protection. But it wouldn't be on him, it will be on somebody else. Now, I had already told you that the police officer that detained him violated his rights, right? And all of this is going to come to a head pretty much because, number one, you violated his rights. Because, number one, and number two, you had to show critical evidence. And pretty much, I think this will set him free. The problem is the school that he went to and to go to this track meet or wherever that place is in Texas, it's illegal to have a weapon on school grounds, even though it's a right to bear arms or whatever state that is. Stand your ground law. But in the school, they're going to end up. That's why I said it's a tricky situation.
Yeah. Slippery slope, I would say.
So I don't know how he's going to. They're either going to fine him with giving him 10 years probation, and that's going to be a stain on his record. Or worst case scenario, they're going to give him 5 to 10 years in prison.
Mm-hmm.
So we won't.
Let's say the judge is like very mad that day, then God forbid the judge might want to return the favor or something. Let's say a very biased judge.
Hey, did you happen to see the thing with Charleston White and what he had to in the ignorance?
Yeah, I don't believe a word he says.
Oh, you're not going to believe this. Just listen.
Do you see the boy in Frisco stabbed to death by Carmelo Anthony?
Yeah. My heart goes out to the family. They trying to make this a race issue, and this is a right or wrong issue.
Okay. So real quick, I like where you're going on this because I'm not even trying to race bait or anything. People are making this about black and white. You see that they're trying to make this kind of like a Trayvon Martin kind of, they're talking about it. But where do you?
It is. Trayvon Martin was an angry black kid that had to be sent to his father because he lacked discipline. Grew up in a home with his single mother. Any well-behaved kid with that had respect of adults. Once George Zimmerman approached him, whether he's right or wrong, as a child, this is an adult. You get off the phone with that fat ass girlfriend you trying to fuck. You call your dad and say, "Hey, Dad, it's an adult around here to just stop me." He says he's calling the police. Rather than doing that, he had an attitude because as young black males in this country, we have an authority problem because we're walking around angry, displaced from our father's issues, but we resent our mothers.
That's true.
So we're a ticking time bomb. And
not only are you a joke,
I mean, he can only
you're a
speak for
freaking
himself.
joke, and you're telling a white actor. This ain't even this is a fucking actor. He's a comedian, and you're basically spilling beans on this comedian that literally does not have your best interests at heart. Number one. Number two, you're doing what any other coon would do, and that's telling the worst. You're painting a picture of the worst of us, which is primary set, which you set in place. You as an agent set in place because you do these things to yourself on a whim. Number one, you got arrested. You got arrested a couple of months ago for I don't know, illegal possession, legal possession of firearms or whatever. Number two,
at this point.
Number two, you hit somebody upside the head with a vase while you were up on stage doing your whack ass comedy skit. Number three, you brung a weapon to an interview, stating that no one was going to put their hands on you. Plus, you're macing everybody. You cause a fist fight. No one's taking you serious.
I mean, the guy's a hypocrite.
No one's taking this agent serious. And you have the nerve to come up on here with a guy that is one of Tucker Carlton's favorite mentor. This dude is a comedian. He's a joke. He literally starts stuff just to get a rise out of everybody, and he's getting a rise out of you.
I bet you Charleston White would love it if a white guy were to shoot him. He would say, "Oh, white man, please hurt me, please hurt me." That's basically
No. He'll treat himself accordingly. When it comes to white folks, he always treats himself accordingly. He's a joke. He's a goddamn joke.
And Trayvon Martin could fight. So that's why I say you be careful approaching some of these young kids. What a 13-year-old would kick a 40-year-old's ass.
That's true.
And that's what happened in that situation. He underestimated this kid, and he was looking for trouble. But by law, he was right. And he was judged by his peers. So we can't say nothing once you're judged by your peers.
Well, what do you think's going to happen in this Austin Metcalf thing?
Metcalf ass go, look, no, that boy going
Carmelo
to jail.
Anthony's going to go to jail.
Carmelo going to jail. Because listen, you cannot bring a weapon to school.
Yeah.
So you can't say I was
what if he says self-defense?
There's no self-defense, because if you are afraid the day before, well, you have to take a weapon to school, why not notify your parents? Parents, you notify the school teacher. School teacher that's bringing these kids in here and resolve this issue. Is called conflict resolution. We was taught in homes that has morals and values, you tell the teacher. Somebody fucking with you, you tell the teacher. Let the teachers know, so when y'all have an altercation, you're cleared and you're covered. Documentation beats conversation. So words of documentation to say this is self-defense. It's a premeditated crime because you took a weapon in fear, anticipating to use it.
That was premeditated, though.
And it's at a track meet. You getting ready to run track with other kids and you got a knife on you. No, man, you got to go to jail.
Okay, let's just say that was true. Well, let's just say all of that was true, right? Do we know do we know the story of Carmelo Anthony and what truly has been going on for his whole entire career in high school? No, we do not. We do not know. We don't know the ins and
How many
outs
times
of
he's
what.
alerted the authorities? How many times he's told his parents? We don't know that for sure. But here's what the biased people like Charleston
How
White
many,
come in.
how many actual fist fights has he been in? How many actual fist fights has he been in? How many altercations has he been in? And the school, mind you, the school that Austin Metcalf goes to, they're not too far apart from each other. They're not too far apart. They're like a couple miles away from each other. So we don't know the altercations that Carmelo has been in, has he had done or has done to somebody. Now, they line these two kids up with guns. Two of them have rifles. And the dad's an ex-criminal, by the way. They line the two kids up, right? And they both have rifles. They line this kid up, and he don't even have a father, but he has a gun in his hand. Last time I checked, the boy was side by side with his daddy. Side by side with his daddy. So Carmelo Anthony has a daddy and he has a mama. And they both have good grades. But one's more different than the other one. Just because he's black, he got to behave himself. His mama didn't treat him no different. That's a lie. That's untrue. Because if he didn't know no better, I do not know how many thugs have 4.0s.
Exactly. Not a lot of street savvy people are book savvy.
How many do you know is book savvy? You know any? Do you know any? I don't know any.
Unless he's a psychopath, and I don't know no psychopaths. So what are you talking about?
I don't know any.
Exactly. I don't know what they're talking about.
That's crazy to me. And what else did he say? So it's conflict resolution. There is no conflict resolution. There's only fight or flight. Once again, if we're in a confrontation and we're yelling back and forth with one another,
yeah,
put your hands on me and see what happens. Everybody in their mama has said that.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody in their mama has said that shit. Now it's a thing now. I used to say that to any and everybody. It's like, please put your hands on me and see what I do. Put your hands on me. But he started it. He started it. So it wouldn't make a difference. Like I said, it would not make a difference if I were to defend myself or not, because I don't have that right. Or I would say this: I don't have that right to defend myself because I have tried everything but the one thing that I regret doing, and it might harm me or hurt me for the rest of my career, because all my endorsements are going to go away. Nobody's going to want me, and if I want to go to the NFL, they've been like, well, let's see. Instead of being possibly a third-round pick or a first-round pick or a second-round pick in the NFL draft, we don't know, because he's going to college. We don't know what school is going to accept him because of all this nonsense. You're turning him into a thug. It doesn't even matter what grade he scores. If he scores 100 on his SATs, it really wouldn't matter the situation. Because politics, again, it articulates how black people in this country, no matter what you do, no matter what you want to become, you are still a problem. You are still a fucking threat. But nobody wants to put it as a racial problem. If it wasn't such a racial problem, then why is it that everybody wants this dude dead? But now I come to find out. You know what else I came to find out? All these other assholes online want him terminated, want him decimated, want him deleted.
For what? Just
And
defending himself?
Yes.
Damn,
Yes.
heck, if
He's
I
like,
was Carmelo Anthony, I would have.
you stabbed this kid. You stabbed him multiple times. First of all, he didn't stab him multiple times. He stabbed him once. Multiple mean I'm constantly stabbing at you, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, he had to get the Ritz crackers' hands off of him, so he had to do what he had to do. I mean, if someone tried strangling me and they looked like a white boy, of course I'd get scared, and I'd do whatever I do. I'll get scared if anyone starts strangling me, honestly. And it was reasonable what he did. It's just politics and race combined together make it complicated. But it's not that complicated. But it's not that complicated, really. It's about what's right and what's wrong. But then here's what they do: they switch the scenario and situation depending on the person. It's about favoritism, and selectivism. That's what it's exactly about: favoritism and selectivism. People often like the more lighter you are, the more privileges you get. That's like a part of a hierarchy. It's like a pyramid.
Yeah, it was Megyn Kelly's punk ass. Megyn Kelly don't. This is the same Megyn. No, it wasn't Megyn Kelly. I thought it was Megyn Kelly that obviously.
I mean,
who was the one that said shut up and dribble? Who was the one that said shut up and dribble to LeBron James?
Let's see.
I forgot who it was, but I thought it was Megyn Kelly. But either one, both of them are racist, both of them are actual stupid. But at any rate, did I wait? I was going to show you something, but did I finish this all the way? No, I didn't.
You got to go. There's no. So when is it all right to kill the bully? I don't give a fuck what the bully did. He don't have a right to die.
No.
Man, you weak man. That's why I say teach the kids how to deal with bullies, and this won't happen. We're all not equal. Even in nature, you can be feeding a flock of birds. There's gonna always be one bird to come in and take the food from the. This is nature. Yeah. You cannot get rid of bullies. Teach the bully supervisor, a bully co-worker. You cannot get rid of the bully. Teach our children conflict resolution.
Oh, you speak about nature now? Really?
Don't have to end in violence. But when you come,
you're a goddamn hypocrite. You're a hypocrite. First and foremost,
he's talking about nature. This Charleston White is making me mad right now. He's saying nature. What is it? No, self-defense is nature. Fight or flight.
You're violent by nature. You show it all the time. You show it all the time in airports. You show it all the time when you go into barbershops. You have no conflicts when it comes to white folks. I don't even see you getting into one scrabble with white folks. But when it comes to black people, you ready for a fight. You're ready to get down. You're ready to go toe to toe with some of the most.
It's because he knows what happens when he messes with white folks. He internally knows that if he messes with these white folks, he's done. He wants to mess with them. Look, he doesn't like them white folks either. He wants to mess with them, but he knows he can't, so he doesn't. He knows who he could do to what, who he could do what to whom. He knows what to do when and where. And guess what? He chooses how he chooses to feel around certain people. That's exactly how it works. People prey on those who can be preyed upon. Like white people have 7 layers of defense like an onion. Meanwhile, non-white people have 0 defensive layers. Think about it this way. White people are protected like an onion. Meanwhile, the rest of the world doesn't even have layers of protection.
Violence.
Yeah. That is the problem, though. It's
the culture.
That's the culture. That's how they solve. When you have a serious issue, they don't even contemplate trying to talk it out.
We teach a no snitching rule, right? So our kids are walking around with these mafia rules, codes, and ethics of the streets that's held over children about no snitching. So now I have to take
Okay,
the weapon because I don't want to be a snitch and kill another kid. Oh, it's a simple solution. Don't tell the teacher. Tell your parents.
Let me say this thing. Revenge is a universal
Simple
rule.
solution.
I know, but
Tell, motherfucker, tell.
But what sounds crazy? I know it sounds so easy, but the thing is, even for
what?
I mean, self-defense and revenge are two different things. Yes, they're part of the G code because you have to defend yourself. Sometimes you have to defend yourself. If you don't defend yourself when you're supposed to defend yourself, people will remember you as a B word. I come from a community where you got to defend yourself. Pretty much the Mexicans have their own code. I grew up around a lot of Mexicans, actually. And they would tell you how to defend yourself. Like, you have to defend yourself.
In the area Mexicans, but go ahead.
They would basically say defending yourself is
we all live in well, I grew up in Lansing, Michigan. He's still in Lansing, Michigan. So But no, like I said, no one takes his due seriously. No one takes his due seriously. I mean, again, the cause of it is that you're listening to somebody else speak these same words, then you flip it because you're this close to no longer being irrelevant, right? People fear that they'll listen to you more than they'll listen to anybody else. Then you have the nerve to come after Tariq Nasheed. Tariq Nasheed doesn't even know who you are. They don't even know who you are. And forget, you're not going. You're coming after people who aren't going to defend themselves or are good at defending themselves. Either way, you want to get your bag, you get your bag, get your paper, do whatever, but don't come around doing two things. Number one, two contradictory things. Number one, you're a comedian. Number two, you're an activist. You can't do both. I can't take you serious in neither one of them. Number one, you're not that fucking funny. Number two, you're not active enough in the community. What have you done? Where's your paperwork? I've talked to people in the nigga. You are a prisoner, aren't you? Aren't you due to be in jail by now? Who let you out? Oh, I forgot. Anton's giving you money. My bad. And we're talking about the same Anton that listens to this fool speak his truth. It's disgusting, man. I have to go to this.
Yeah. Bye.
I have to go to that. I have to go to this because this is irking my nerves. It's like, who the hell listens to this dude?
I mean, Tariq Nasheed always speaks about stuff like this. He says FBAs have to protect themselves because they'll always be seen as villains but never victims. That's the sad truth. Some people will be seen as villains even though they're truly victimized by others, but they'll be villainized by others. They're like FBAs, for example. People villainize them, then victimize them. That's the only justification for victimizing them. And as soon as they try to defend themselves from the victimization, they're the monsters then. You see, like, this is like called blaming the victim. It's a psychological trick that these white folks play on people.
We are supposed to be the pillars. We're supposed to be the backbone of the black community, but instead we are letting in people who, let's just call it for what it is, just come in here and just start taking our first they want to hypnotize you. They want to hypnotize you and thinking that you're doing good. You're doing some type of good. And all they had to do was just flash you a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And the next thing you know, you're forking out money towards him. And then he's going on interview. It's just the same thing as Tommy Sotomayor. It's the same thing. Same thing. Same deal. Same deal. Yeah. But the only difference is Tommy doesn't look for controversy like that. He does. And he goes in, he's wanted. He's a wanted man in Chicago. He is a wanted man in Chicago. But people don't touch him because all he's going to do is just snitch to the police. It's going to be one of these times where a dude is going to say, I'll take the charge. And if they say that they're going to take that charge, there ain't going to be no Charleston Wayne anymore. I mean, you got guns by the house, but ain't nothing. But you can only handle but one gun, my nigga. You got a whole. He's got a whole bulletproof vest, and he has guns in the house. It's not gonna make a difference when you have a team, a gang full of people wanting your head just straight decapitate you. I'm amazed. I am shocked and amazed that he has lasted this long. But let me get off him.
Man, I'm kind of surprised that Charleston White ain't deleted yet.
I just said that, but yeah, it's a tragedy.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what he said, and you know what the one thing he did admit to? He admit to this is his personality. He switches his on and he switches his on and off. This is his personality. This is what he does. Right? It's like, do you know how dangerous that is?
That is very, very dangerous.
You keep switching these personalities, I'm
He's
doing this.
Personas, basically.
And he does this on purpose. He literally does this shit on purpose.
He's trying to gaslight people. He's trying to get a reaction out of people. Reactionary media stars. He's one of them.
Because he's doing it because he couldn't get a reaction when he was doing good. But now he hates being ignored. He hates being a liability, so he does the whole persona. I'm the tough guy. I'm the gangster. Blah blah blah. You ain't no goddamn gangster.
Because the gangster never betray his own people.
You got guns. I got guns. He got guns. Everybody's got guns.
Yeah,
Everybody. But I ain't no gangster. I ain't no bad guy.
No.
Neither are you. But neither is him. But you want to dangerously play the. I'm surprised King Von's people, even though King Von is 6 feet deep, I'm surprised King Von did. Excuse me.
Damn, King Von was a different breed ahead of his time.
APB didn't put an APB out on this dude. I am shocked. Or maybe he's just staying away just to stay away.
Shit, the white boy should have attacked King Von and he could have had it much worse. If that white boy sitting upstairs is sad about Carmelo attacking him, he's lucky he wasn't attacked by Juan. Just saying.
I'm surprised Trump is still around. Ain't nobody gonna touch Trump at this moment. I told y'all, the moment that he made that speech and that cat fired his rifle, his little BB gun, because he got me at the ear. Ooh, my ear's bleeding. It's amazing. One of my friends said, a little bit to the right. Ain't nobody gonna touch Trump. I told y'all, he's got top flight security now. He ain't got those fake ass security guards that didn't even know what the hell they were doing. He has top flight security now, so you could try it all you want.
Both sides. Okay. Thank you, guys.
So let things play out fairly and fully. All right. So that was Mike Howard, the attorney speaking for Carmelo Anthony and his family. So to go over the details once again, Judge Angela Tucker ruled Monday morning to lower the bail for Carmelo Anthony, 17 years old, from $1 million to $250,000 with conditions that include being under house arrest and wearing an ankle monitor. So Anthony has been in custody on a murder charge since April 2nd, when he was arrested and accused of killing 17-year-old Austin Metcalf at District 11-5A track meet at Frisco's David Kakundu Stadium. Sorry if I said that wrong, but Anthony told police he was acting in self-defense. So it says factors considered in court Monday included Anthony's age, lack of criminal history, and ties to the community. Those included several family members, close friends, a football coach, and a manager from one of Anthony's part-time jobs who showed up to the hearing. On the Metcalf side of the courtroom, which was also full, Megan Metcalf, Austin's mother, bowed her head and cried as the decision came down. Now, this is the judge right here, Miss Angela Tucker, and you can only imagine the replies. Matter of fact, let's just show you, all right? Can anybody guess why? Blacks always stick together. I bet she hates Whitey. Now, if you know anything about black folk.
That's not true. Black people never stick together.
I bet he hates Whitey. Amazing.
Hey, I appreciate the kind words, but blacks always stick together. I wish. As a general rule, black woman judge equals race activist. Every race can have activist judges except whites. If you're upset about this now, just wait until the trial by jury. Of course she did. What do you expect from a black broad? DEI hire. Never trust a black judge to give a fair sentence to a black criminal, especially if it's a woman. It's crazy because if you listen to a lot of black men, they will tell you should be scared of a black woman judge. Like, it's crazy the different narratives that are spun for whatever the occasion may be. Niggas have no respect for the law. Why are they allowed to become judges? Of course, a rigor judge looking out for their own. Carmelo should never see the light of day again. Damn, if it's a judge in the case, they might as well let him off. You're about to see blatant corruption from the world's greatest judicial system. Man, have mercy on Miss Tucker. Miss Tucker. Good luck, all right? And here goes a news report summarizing the situation right here.
Within the last hour, a judge granted the request to lower the bond for a North Texas teen facing capital murder charges. 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony is...
That's not true. You see how even the news can be wrong?
Yo, that Metcalf guy looks like the Grimace.
He's not.
That Metcalf guy looks like the Grimace monster.
Dude, he's not gonna go to jail.
Imagine if you're getting strangled by the Grimace monster.
He might go to jail for manslaughter. He's going to jail for manslaughter. He's not going to jail for murder one. If he goes to jail for murder one, that's 99 years in jail. That's 99 years.
Just for killing a guy that looks like McGrimace and trying to strangle me. If a guy who looked like the McGrimace shake was trying to strangle me, oh boy, I just more than just stab that guy. I'd go for his neck if you want for my neck. Neck for neck.
Oh, be careful. They might incriminate you now. What happened to Crump or whatever his name was? I have no idea. Wait, what do you mean, Crump? Wait, Crump? What does she mean? What do you mean, Reg? Crump. That name sounds familiar, but yeah, I'm glad it got it. He's not going to, I'm telling you right now, he's not going to go to jail for murder one. Even Judge Joe Brown said it himself. He's not going to go to jail for murder one. They might prosecute him for manslaughter, but
he might have to go for a year for manslaughter, though.
May, who knows? But again, if he does get off, then that's awesome. Benjamin Crump. Okay. Oh, y'all trying to be y'all trying to be funny in a serious moment. Jesus.
Well,
Crump. What happened to Benjamin? Benjamin Crump ain't gonna represent him. Please. Benjamin Crump gonna make a statement, gonna wag his little finger, and like, you shouldn't have done that. You're gonna have to go to jail.
Bro, that's worse than a public defender, my guy.
Worse than a public defender.
Even this reputable ABC News says that he's facing capital murder charges. We just seen that that's not true. Previous video, we heard the DA said that he's facing simple first-degree murder charges, not capital murder. Totally.
Before making her decision.
Yeah, Kara, this hearing just wrapped up about 30 minutes ago. In it, we heard from Carmelo Anthony's father. He testified about his son, and in the end, the judge did decide to lower the bond from $1 million to $250,000. Carmelo Anthony entered the courtroom handcuffed, wearing a yellow inmate jumpsuit. He spoke only to identify himself to the judge and stared straight forward while his father, Andrew Anthony, testified about how his son is the oldest of 4 siblings, a straight-A student, active in his church, and worked 2 jobs while serving as captain of the football and track team. To this point, he's not had any criminal history. All factors his defense brought up when asking the judge to lower the bond. The amount they were asking for was $150,000. The prosecution, though, argued the bond should have stayed at $1 million, even asking Andrew Anthony about the online fundraiser that's raised $412,000 for his son's defense. Ultimately, though, the judge said the purpose of the bond is not a punishment, but to ensure the defendant returns for his court dates and to protect the community. If Anthony does post the $250,000 bond, he will be on house arrest, confined to his home with a leg monitor, and cannot leave unless the court grants permission. Asked by Judge Angela Tucker if he understood the terms of the bond, Carmelo Anthony simply said, yes. Austin Metcalf's family, the victim's family, was in the courtroom. It was a packed courtroom, not a seat to be had. And the judge did acknowledge the amount of scrutiny on this case, not only from the media, but the general public, pointing out that she's presided over many murder trials involving many different races, and that she has never seen the amount of security precautions having to be taken by deputies as what they're seeing in this case. Kara, back to you.
Wow. Hey, man, things get crazy, huh? So this is the district attorney, Greg Willis. Let's see what we got to say.
Good morning, everybody. There's not much I can say, but the judge.
Yeah,
Bro, that white guy looks like the bully himself.
But look at it. Anton's on right now, cooning and buffooning with all the mother coons on there. It's right on time, right on target.
You know what you should say on
He
the
might
on
flag
these
me for it.
platforms? You should say, I hope Carmelo Anthony beats that body, though. It's not a body technically because it was self-defense. It does not count as murder because of self-defense. Morally, legally, and logically, it does not count as
it's manslaughter. No,
Yeah.
it counts as manslaughter, but most likely
it had to
there
be
are
done.
a lot of brothers and sisters who are defending this man, but I'm telling you, I would not be shocked and I would not be surprised if we were ever in a war, even in real life, under the pretense of this young man. If he ever gotten convicted, I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be surprised, but it wouldn't be on black and white. No. It'll be towards us. We'll be the one starting our own war. He should have known better. He should have known better. He should have did this. He should have did that.
Yeah, people are like, you should have picked another option. People always say that you should have picked another option, but there was no other option.
Yeah, he could have walked off. But then again,
But he has a right to go where he wants to go. He's a grown-ass kid.
But wait a minute. Didn't you just tell me that Metcalf put his mittens on this boy, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So if that's the case, why would I run? And I was going to tell you, I was going to ask you, but I didn't finish. Metcalf is a linebacker and a captain in his high school, right? Or a quarterback or whatever. That's still, he's 6 feet, 220. Yeah, he's 6 feet, 220 pounds.
Okay, if a person taller than me, stronger than me was at my neck, and I had something, I would make sure that he wouldn't see the light of day or even survive to tell the story of him violating me. That's a violation right there, what he did to Carmelo.
Mm-hmm. But according to a certain someone, that should have not been the case.
You know, for all those people that say
he is a strong safety. Hold on. He's a strong safety, right? He's a strong safety. He's supposed to be knocking people's heads off, and of course Brandon was showing him in playing football, strong safety. He was showing footage of him playing football, and of course he was lowering his shoulder and hitting below the waist. I don't care how big you are, how small you are. If I'm coming at you full speed and you even turn wrong, if you are not looking, unless you are Jim Brown, no, I'm not going to even say it. I'm not going to even say that. If you're Derrick Henry, unless you are a Derrick Henry type of running back, a free safety is going to come at you with everything. If that is his job, if that is his position.
I got something to say. For all the people saying that Metcalf was innocent, he wasn't. Maybe here's what we should do: revive Metcalf and have him strangle that Charleston White dude and see what Charleston White himself does. Let's test that theory out.
Please, Charleston White will gladly gag, and possibly put up a fight. Possibly, maybe.
See, he'll put up a fight. He'll defend himself too. So it's just wrong when someone else does it. But when he does it, it's all right. When someone else does it, it's about favoritism, selectionism, and that's how it all works. That's just messed up.
But well, let's be fair. Let's be clear. We're in a how do I say this? Oh, I'm just gonna say it straight out. We're living in a white supremacist society.
But here's what I'm gonna say. Let's say if something happens to Carmelo, that white boy is gonna go to hell. Because God is never biased.
But here's the thing. Carmelo did, or I would say in his defense, and I can't believe I'm defending this white boy. It's like a regular fist fight. Now it's true when they say this has nothing to do with race, but when you put politics in it, it becomes a race war. That's what I will say. But when it comes to these two individuals, yes, I would have done something too if you would have put hands on. You're basically violating my space. So on top of that, you and your twin brother obviously seeing this kid. You go to confront him. You're absolutely violating my space. So what do? I'm going to eat. I got options. I can talk it out with you, or I can roast you. I can do all various types of things. Once you put your hands on me, that is a violation of my right to live. And I only have but one option. Is to hurt you. Hurt you to the point where you're humiliated. Because, again, we're in Texas. Everybody's carrying a gun. Everybody's carrying a knife. So what the hell am I supposed to do?
Besides, people die every day and shit like this.
And according to his father, he knows jiu-jitsu. So with that combination and with all that going on, you got your big mitts on me. You're 220 pounds, soaking wet. You're 6 feet versus a 5'9" with 130. 220, 130, that's 90 pounds. You're giving away 90 pounds. So what am I supposed to do at that moment?
In his defense, if he didn't have the knife, he wouldn't be here in front of us today in court. If he didn't have his knife on him.
That's some bogus ass shit.
I mean, weapons are basically God. In my religion of Hinduism, we worship weapons because they're seen as a second embodiment of God.
The weapons are saying as a second.
We worship weapons, you know. Weapons are seen as a second embodiment of God. They're seen as the preservers of a person's life, the right to self-defense. So Carmelo Anthony did nothing wrong.
I'm with you. I'm with you, and I'm with
within the last hour.
I didn't even tell you to come on. I'm with Carmelo 100%. I am just stating this. This is a rocky situation because he's going to have to deal with two things: the law of the school and the 12 jurors. Now, if they were to say be fair and put black people here, white people here, 6 on 6, that's 12 jurors. 6 on 6. Six black jurors, 6 white jurors. All of them fair-minded people. It's like I said, they used to do the exact same thing to me when I went to jury duty. They ask you all types of questions. I hope the judge asks them the right type of questions, but we will see.
Well, in God's eyes, Carmelo Anthony's innocent. In everyone else's eyes, he's innocent. It's just some racist white people and sellouts that he's not innocent.
Ooh, don't let them hear you say that. Sellouts. Don't let them hear you say that. Let me see.
I would be sick because then in that instance, we got all the way to you 17 years old and you done killed somebody. Oh my gosh. So for me, I don't see anything good in this situation. I don't see nothing good coming out of this situation. Nothing. Because however many years he'll end up in jail, his mother's going to be in jail with him, basically. It's sad. All the way to 17 in this.
Man, listen. Do you think that they put a black judge over this? Because I have a theory. I think they put a black judge over this because they going to convict, bro. And they trying to, like, deal with the, like, the backlash. Like, we had a black judge, so you can't say it was racism.
They do that in corporate America when they want to fire a nigga and they don't want to have no kind of backlash for, like, racism and discrimination. They'll get, like, a black manager to do.
Yeah, it's like it's the optics of it. Because they know black folks, we're looking at the optics of the situation more than anything.
Yeah. Hello, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
Okay. All right. So, how can I say this, right? Dude was wrong for stabbing him. I'm gonna be honest about that. He really didn't have to stab, bro. But this is the point that I'm trying to make, right? Okay. It's really not a race thing because
I agree.
It's really not. That's how everybody's kind of spinning it. So when I come from an angle of trying to say,
think of it this way: I used to live in Lansing at the Caddis station.
What's up?
People used to fight each other at the Caddis station in Lansing all the time. And people used to pull out knives on each other. Where was the media then?
I vaguely remember that, but yes, the Caddis station downtown. Yes, I do remember that. Yes.
Yeah, I would not pass around the area without a gun on me. Like, I'm scared of the Caddis station officially.
Not me, please. That's like home sweet home for me. I'm like,
I would never go to the Caddis station again, bro. Like, that's the most dangerous area in the city. Like, I don't know how you survived that long.
Easy. Mind my own damn business.
Exactly. I didn't
So
look the other way.
Put your hands on. The only thing I got scared is someone stole my bag with all my stuff in it.
Yeah.
But other than that, ain't nobody dumb enough to walk up towards me or any of my comrades that I was with, because that's like a fist fight. Of course, there were knives involved. Now there are guns involved.
Oh
which
shit!
People are gonna have to be selective of who you fuck with.
Yeah, there's rules of attestation that having a weapon on the premises is a crime within itself, no matter the context. That's what Charleston White is using. Having a weapon on the premises, regardless of the context, is a crime. He's using that as leverage and ammunition against Carmelo Anthony, like the connections here. Same thing as the attestation. Not carry a weapon there, even for self-defense. Heck, not even the security guards have pepper spray on them. The security guards are unarmed. They're not allowed to use their arms or nothing. That's how bad it is at the cat estate.
Who the fuck are these people?
They're anonymous, but you can track down their IP addresses and
all these. Where do all these people come from? Holy shit! My bad, yo. I'm looking at Anton's platform, and these are just people that it just screams coon. It just screams out Samboism.
Yes, Sambo.
Except for the one lady that was up there, and she was defending the shit out of black folks, and everybody was just smiling and laughing. It just went everywhere though. It went from security, it went from the community to what was it? Believing in God, and that believing in God shit triggered everybody. Everybody.
Well, here's the thing. I would say everybody has the right to defend themselves from anybody. It's that simple.
If God had to come up off the throne, everybody would be in trouble.
Look, God says you're allowed to do anything in the name of self-defense. Anything and everything. Nothing is off limits for anybody when it comes to self-defense. If they got a number on your head, you better get double the bread on their head.
I'm with Craig on this one. I definitely want to see the cam. I want to see the whole freaking footage.
But where would Carmelo Anthony be safe? Outside in the community or in the jail? Like, if he's outside in the community, people are targeting.
He has protection now.
No, but there's still people who will come after him. In jail, no one has guns though.
He's not worried about that. I think doesn't he have family? Doesn't he have like brothers and sisters and stuff like that?
I mean, no matter how protection is, if people are bound to get you, they're bound to get you. Not even God could save anybody, except for the clutches.
Well, if that's the case, then let the fun begin.
Yeah.
Because if that were me, I'll load up Betsy.
Bro, he'd be like Young and Ace.
I'll load up Betsy. I'll get Ebony. And Ivory.
Yeah, boy.
And hell.
And then all hell will break loose.
Share storm. We share forth from the ground that the dust that we were created of. From the dust we shall return. And I'm dusting all you motherfuckers. Each and every single one of y'all.
Time to drill. And
since I do live in Vegas, Vegas has all these vacancies all everywhere because we're building as we go along. I could just take you all the way down Blue Diamond and just bury you there. And I'm like, yeah, they got a little nice little bit out there for you. I ain't gonna treat you wrong. I'm gonna make sure you're fed. I'm gonna make sure the feed off of your flesh.
Exactly.
I'm gonna treat you real good. If that,
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
Give
if that
you that
ever would
38
happen,
special, you know what I'm saying? That 38.45 special. For dessert, you get a 308.
ooh, 308. What you doing? What you know
308
about?
green tip. 300 blackout. All
What
that shit for dessert.
what your college boy ass know about a 308 special?
No, we don't need a 308. We need 277 Furies.
Man, your mama would kick your ass if you got caught with a 38 special and that. Mom, I got a 38 special.
Yo. No, but that's what Carmelo needs to do. I mean, he got to defend himself. A guy's got to defend himself. Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's America for you.
Yeah, but if he got caught,
that's the world for you. That's
if he
human
got
nature.
caught with a gun, I'm not gonna lie. If the school says no weapons in school, and if he got caught with a gun, that would have been more. That would be more of a steeper hill to climb.
You know what you should do? You should hire some armed security guards in school. Then he'll look like a real boss man.
Well, that's armed security. But there is one question that I did ask. Is there a possibility, is there a slight possibility that teachers are armed in school?
Oh,
Even though they did say no, there's no weapons in school. But how can you tell me there's no weapons in school when you're being threatened every day?
Exactly.
Right?
That's like a two-way street. It's like, but then again, you can have armed
police. People's situation, I wouldn't know. Because teachers get mollywopped and threatened all the time, so I wouldn't know. Maybe a teacher was brave enough to, hide it in a safe deposit box, bought the gun with the safe deposit box with the gun in it, locked it, put it in the lower drawer, just in case somebody were to pop off. There it is, right?
I mean, top 5 things for self-defense will be the Springfield Echelon, G30 Gen 5, and what else? A Magnum and a P380, and also a SIG FN 545 tactical with a scope on it.
Damn, you going to war? Who you going to war with?
There's no other choice because that's human nature. It's not just America. It's human nature. People are preying upon the weak. The thing is, never let yourself become victim. Because if you let yourself become a victim, you might as well call yourself bitch made. Sorry, Mom. I would.
Hey, you telling the truth. I just,
I mean, that is the truth. But if people can't handle it, then I guess they're doing something wrong, or their mental head is something wrong. It's like, are they hypocrites if they can't handle the truth?
like, share, subscribe to the channel. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Please smash that like, smash the like. Let me play a few minutes of this, and we gonna wind down, son.
Dude should have never put his hands on him. It's not because it's a white boy, but look at it how the white boy had the audacity to step up as he was the authority to confront bro. Now, we don't know the exchange in words that they had. I believe it was certain things in those circumstances that triggered him to show out with the knife. He didn't want to get embarrassed.
I could tell you this. I agree. The white boy.
Touch me and see what's going to happen. Touch me and see what happens.
Yeah, that
sounds like a threat.
That's provocation.
But it's kind of a warning too, though, because you had to say something to me to trigger me to say, "Yo, put your hands on me, and you gonna see what's gonna happen." Now, let me say this, right?
What he said was, "Bro, you gotta get up out of here. You don't belong on this side of the stadium."
Now, all right, but let's think about this, right? Say you came to the stadium, right? Now I'm over there. You coming to meet my tent. It's pouring down rain. Why would I tell you to get from over here if it's pouring down rain? We all at a track meet. We're all kids, right? We're all teenagers. Who gives me the right to tell you get up out of here, go back in that ring? If I had such an issue,
Teenagers always trying to tell each other what to do. That's number one.
But
Number
it doesn't make it
two,
right.
hold on.
it still does not justify him killing.
I never said
Killed.
he justified him. But see, you got to stop saying I'm justifying.
In Mike's
What I'm
defense,
saying-
Mike did say he was wrong for stabbing him, so he didn't
Yeah,
justify.
he's wrong. This my whole thing. Everybody's kind of making it about race. It's really not about race. But this is my thing. Nobody's not really holding the kid that got unalive responsible for what he did.
100% I am.
That's my whole thing. It's
At the end of the day, at the end of the day, God hold him accountable. He dead. That's the maximum of accountability.
He got the
Oh,
right
now
one
you
that
see
day.
God's
He
logic
lost
on
his
this guy.
life. That's
Oh, now
listen,
he's
the
twisting
Bible
God's
says the
logic.
wages of sin is death. Once you die, that absolves you of all sin. So
What'd you say?
First of all, they're twisting God's logic. How is God going to favor? God chooses himself who he favors. They don't choose who God favors. So who are they to speak on God's
These motherfuckers don't even know how to incite the Bible. They do this shit all the time. They pick one scripture and they think that they're fucking Creflo Dollar or some shit.
You know what I believe in? I believe in karma.
Get off about that bullshit.
Yo, We-On-Loc, I believe in karma. Karma's the original G code. Karma says if one does something to you, you do it back. We the original get back. GBG. Man, us Hindus, we believe in karma. If someone does something to us, we do it back. Revenge, self-defense, it's a moral duty, not just a right. It's a duty. And if you do
That's
your
eye
duty,
for an eye, right?
that's what my religion teaches. If it's necessary, you got to do it for survival. Survival is everything.
That's crazy.
I mean, Hinduism came from the tribal areas of hunter-gatherers, and their only thing on their mind was survival. And survival is the ultimate rule of life. I mean, survival is the ultimate truth. If you can survive for very long, you deserve to live. Carmelo Anthony deserves to live happily because he defended himself. If he wasn't able to defend himself, a man who isn't able to defend himself shouldn't be in this world, first of all. But if you can defend yourself, do it. Do it. It's about survival of the fittest. He did nothing wrong. He was fit for survival, so he deserves to live another day. Carmelo Anthony, free him.
he met his ultimate maker. He met his maker for making a mistake. So he's been held accountable, Mike. We understand that. He was wrong 1,000%.
Okay, so me and you can agree on that. Now, see, me and you agreeing on that. Now, see, here's the thing. Now, everybody's kind of looking at it like, oh, he shouldn't get in trouble. Bro, he's going to jail. Now, should he get murdered? No. I don't believe
he gonna get murdered. He gonna get second degree or third degree.
I think he.
No, he's going to get possible manslaughter. People kill me because people think that they're actual judges. Have they even read into the law? They need to read into the law. If I stab you multiple times, that means it's I said that wrong. It's premeditated murder.
That's
but if that's first degree. But if I'm trying to get you off of me and I run, that's manslaughter. Know the difference between the two. Crime of passion, that's what I would call it.
Oh, man, you know what I would call it? I would call it crime of survival, intent to survive. Not intent to murder, intent to survive. The guy had the intention to survive. All he was trying to do was survive. And this is what they're doing, giving him life. Just trying to survive.
You can't beat a bully. You don't know. You're not supposed to be beating bullies.
I mean, if I had a bully, if that white boy was attacking me, that white boy's head would have turned into a bouncy ball by now. Shit, I would have done the same thing too. So who's to say that Carmelo Anthony's wrong? It's just biased people.
What was the word?
That's aggravated. How's that aggravated?
Aggravated assault. Aggravated assault.
I mean, the white boy forced his hand. It's on the white boy's parents for not raising him right. It's not on Carmelo.
No, according to them, they raised some good old boys.
But
Right?
you know, he probably called him the N-word and got his lesson. He got what was coming to him. Honestly, if someone called me a Bajik, they wouldn't be alive today talking about that shit. That's exactly how it is. Call someone a slur and die.
I love it when you put it that way.
They're going to charge him, yeah.
I think manslaughter would mean it's an accident.
Yeah, and to me,
Right.
it was an accident because it's coming out of emotions.
Well, we got to listen to the facts of the case. It's to you, but not to the jury, not to the, you have to go through the whole rigmarole of it. It's like, that's why I didn't want to really have a comment about it, because, either way, ultimately the law is going to determine this young man's fate. And the saddest part is somebody died. So that young man's mother has to go to a freaking cemetery to visit him. And the other young man's mother will be...
Oh God, this is making me angry. They're taking sides with the white boys. This is getting under my nerves. Even though this is basically a lot of common sense. It was self-defense for the last time.
Most people don't understand it. They have. I'm just gonna tell you straight out. There are those folks that have given up on life. Not giving up on life, but giving up on their communities. And they have sided with white supremacy. I'm just gonna say it out. I'm just gonna say it out off rip. I'm just gonna say it off rip.
Let's be honest.
Giving up your right to be black in America. You've given up your right because you want to see that, you want to find ways. You always want to find ways to better society. You want to find ways to better your situation as a man and as a woman in society. So what do? You side with this punk son of a bitch that's in office right now. And what did he tell you he was going to do? Absolutely nothing. What was Kamala Harris going to do? Absolutely nothing. So you're trying to find ways to it's called escapism. That's what it is. You want to escape here, you want to escape there, hoping things will get better as life progresses. You want to see better for your children. You know what you see? You see gorilla. You see gorilla in the future. You see Sambo-esque. Yes. That's a good word, Bridge. Sambo-esque. Yes. You see what's her name? That ugly looking troll that's burning everybody in sight. What's her name? What is her name? Sexy Red. You love Sexy Red so much. But anyway, Sexy Red, you don't want to see a Sexy Red, so you're trying to find ways. But guess what? If you would have had a simple program for these individuals who graduate high school, who graduate college, all these specific programs that were underneath somebody, but once they had to switch mayors, they had to switch legislators, they had to switch governors, they had to switch senators, all those programs all of a sudden disappeared. Dismembered themselves from those particular programs. But you did not have the guts to go down there and constantly support those, even though there was a different face on that desk and on those boards. I don't give a fuck who's on the boards. We're keeping those specific programs so we wouldn't have things like this. So that's on y'all, but did you expect more or less from people who have absolutely given up on their communities? Absolutely. Absolutely given up on their
unless they themselves are trying to cosplay as white, because again, there's benefits to being white. It's not about the looks, it's about the privileges. The reason they have privileges is because they have weapons, and this is how they control the world, by scaring the world into giving them pain, inflicting pain. That's what it's all about. Who inflicts more damage to whom? It's about who has the power, who has the numbers. White people make up like 1.8% of the world's population, yet they control most of the world.
Yes, I do like garlic bread.
Basically, they use these people as proxies. They use these Sambo mentality people as proxies to like get what they want. For example, take what's happening in the Congo. For example, they're using the Congolese to steal from the Tutsis because the Tutsis have resources. Then they're blaming the Tutsis for defending themselves from such Sambos. And then this is how it all works. They have people who are race traders working for the white man to hurt other black people. That's exactly how it works. The real enemy is not the white man, it's the one coming from your own side, basically working for the white man. That's what we call snitches get stitches in it. Collaborators. And you know what happens to collaborators in Palestine? That's what happens. They get that's what the black community should do to collaborators. Anybody that takes sides of evil deserves to become a victim of evil. And when I'm saying evil, I mean tit for tat.
You should have your own YouTube channel.
Exactly.
The truth will set you free.
Yeah, Carmelo ain't evil. He just defended himself.
Hold on.
I said Carmelo ain't evil. He defended himself.
Yeah, I heard. Oh, never mind.
Price of admission. That's just the cost of doing business.
Jason, when I tell you I'm ready to snatch a bitch teeth out, fuck a root canal, like snatch them out. This ain't even half of the document for the cemetery here. So if you think this is just, who gave you the permission to, and then that didn't even the dig up the bodies one by one. You brought a whole bulldozer in, a whole bulldozer. But back to the young man, that little Austin, and let me tell you what God has, that Austin, so Hunter was the bigger twin, and Austin was the smaller twin. See, Austin should have been Hunter, and Hunter should have been Austin. Hunter was jealous of Austin because of his body.
No, the two twins. She's talking about the two twins. She's talking about the two twins.
Size. Hunter was a goddamn a dweeb, as they called it back in the day. And Austin couldn't realize, like, why you, big as you are, why you ain't rah, rah, rah. They were bullies. His father went to jail for essaying. That's why his mama them had left him, because he had SA somebody.
Yeah, like I said, Megyn Kelly and friends are not doing the guilt by association and the Harambe thing. Hey, let's talk about your parents' criminal record. None of the white supremacists online, they're not doing that one all of a sudden. Very interesting that they don't care about parents' criminal records no more.
Yeah, the stories have changed. This young man, I call him, I think, a Snoop Dogg. When he said, my nephew should be home by the end of this week. He need to be home. His family need to be protected. I don't care if you're a Christian or you from the the purple people, the 5%ers. They need to be surrounding that house, because this is the black people way of giving back and making sure.
Yeah, you didn't know that? Yes, this was years ago, where the father was incriminated of murdering somebody. I had the information, but obviously we didn't have time to review it.
Metcalf's dad did something to somebody, then I guess he paid the price for it.
He did pay the price, and of course, now they're such God-fearing, tax-paying citizens now. So,
I mean, they don't fear God; they just fear the black people.
Whatever you say. If it fears it so much, you wouldn't be putting your hands on me. But
The
I
reason,
digress.
they're starting to fear the people is because they wronged the people. And when they wronged the people, they're like, now they have a reason to be scared. If there was all that innocent, they wouldn't be scared or hateful or vengeful. They'd just take the L and walk away if they weren't so wrong about it. But since they want this Carmelo kid, then that speaks that there's a truth hidden behind it. That means that the white kid wasn't innocent. That's why they wanted it. Then why was the white kid attacking him? There's something about it. Like, something's off about this whole case. It's biased.
Now you're seeing my point.
This young man don't get railroaded. How come when it's time to stand your ground, when it's up to us, it's no problem. When it's up to them, it's no problem. When it come to us, no, you pull out the Woolworth. You go to the Woolworth counter and say, hey, no, this ain't what it is. No, that young man in $1 million bond, I gave to it. You know, I still got my little stuff going on. I can't get, man, but if I had something, man, look at here. That should be like Judge Joe Brown say he had defended some on pro bono. Where the pro bono lawyers at?
The pro bono lawyers are down there bull jiving like that black lawyer in Florida they made a film out with Jamie Foxx for suing a damn funeral home. And what you think about St. Petersburg, and baby, what I'm saying is down there in that Tampa Bay, let's call it for what it is, everybody's coming down there to bull jive and try to do their version of Miami. So that's why you can't get nothing organized since Trayvon Martin, because everybody looking to sit up here and chase skirts and chase thongs and have some voluptuary fantasy. And meanwhile, Ron DeSantis and the white supremacists are running rampage across the damn place. So that becomes that modern day version of what the civil rights generation did. We're looking to get high. We're looking to get bent. We're looking to have some nasty gutter sex. And whatever brutality we have to experience after that, well, that's the cost of doing business. So, well, that may happen, but you know, we just gonna accept that because that's the cost of having all this other garbage we really prioritizing.
Jason, had this been my son, and God knows and the universe knows, and I'm going through premenopausal right now as we speak. You don't know if you want to come or goddamn go. But had this been my son, I would have been juvenile. Hey, 400 degrees. I'm ready to mask up. We as black people, there should be, this man, it's not a GoFundMe, but a give, go save, whatever the hell it is. We need to give, and we need to bring nephew home. And we need to make sure that he have the best defense attorneys. We need to take flights down there to Texas, and we need to stand on goddamn business because they did everything for Rittenhouse and all George Zimmerman and everything. See, we Billy Badass when it come down to other Negroes. And I ain't gonna say the goddamn hard ER. We bad when it come down to being rough with one another, a person that look like you. But then we get the Holy Ghost, we get filled with Jesus Christ. When it come down to somebody that don't look like you, you get all your goddamn senses. But let it be me as another female, a black female, I'm gonna tear her ass up.
Well, this is what secularism does. Man, these white people better be thankful that the community wants equality and not revenge. Then these white Metcalf types. I mean, they should be happy that
that was sweet music. That was sweet music to my ears.
I mean, this Metcalf dude should be lucky it's not his whole kind that's being wiped out. It's just him. He should be thankful that, oh, Carmelo doesn't want revenge. He just wants to defend himself. Because if it was about revenge, oh, these white Tucker Carlsons, oh, they'd be saying bye-bye. This is about equality.
But here's the thing, Bridge. Here's the thing. Carmelo has his father in his life. And I don't even know if they're married. I don't even know if they're married or not, but let's just say that they are. You can't, or they are. You can't really call it a broken home because he's present. You see what I'm saying? So if my dad is present in my life, I can't call that a broken home. I refuse to call it that. There are too many people who want it. First of all, you want to get married for the wrong reasons. First and foremost. Second of all, it's all just a money grab for y'all. It's a money grab for you motherfuckers who want to get married for financial reasons and whatever reasons, what have you. You're gonna keep 90% of the money. All you want is 90% of the money, 100% of the respect, 80% of the sex. That's all that is. You don't want to get married. You don't want to get married for emotional reasons. You don't want to get married for love or respect. None of that applies to you. So all right, let's not talk about broken homes. Let's talk about rebuilding our mindset. Rebuilding our mindsets will create a sustainable home and a sustainable future. Broken homes. If I hear one more nigga talk about some broken homes, man, good respect. White guys come from broken homes now. They benefit from it. They benefit from all that crap. Yeah, broken home narrative.
I mean, shit, Austin Metcalf looks like the McGrimace Shake monster. Imagine that guy pulling up to my face and trying to strangling me. I don't know what I'd do to him. By a McGrimace Shake looking mofo. I don't speak ill of the dead usually, but this guy looks like the McGrimace monster. Except more skinnier, but more whiter and less purple.
We cannot let this young man get railroaded. They done already painted the picture. Nobody's talking about these goddamn twins' fathers being a freaking SA'er. And it's ridiculous.
I mean, wait a minute.
They done already painted the picture of this young man. He had every right.
What?
I have a question. Isn't the white boy the product of an SA? That means he's a mistake. That means the white boy wasn't even supposed to be here. You see my logic with this? What if he was the product of an SA that his dad did, and then he got what he deserved for being a product of that shit? He was conceived of sin, and according to the Bible, anyone who's conceived of sin ought to get popped. You see what I'm going with this?
I definitely see where you're going with this, but
exactly.
words. Careful with
He's
those
a product
words.
of evil, and he got evil coming his way.
Okay, that's much better because we don't know how sensitive YouTube is. YouTube is very, very sensitive.
Exactly, but now that you know my logic behind it, which makes Carmelo Anthony innocent.
Correct. Right to defend himself. What is Spaniel? That man ain't have to. That young man, the young boy, did not have to retreat and give Austin a chance to. That man put his hands on that boy, and he kept telling them, like Simon said, "You touch me, you see what's gonna happen." He telling him because he was a Billy Badass, he kept poking the goddamn bear. So when we defend ourselves, it's a fucking problem.
And the message they want to send to you is that it's literally illegal for you to do that. It is legal for you to be assaulted by a white supremacist, suspected white supremacist, their offspring, and anything else. And they're trying to send a message that it's illegal for you to defend yourself. And the real problem is we shouldn't even have to be dealing with this today. This should have already have been dealt with. This should have already have been handled. And even if somebody does try this, we shouldn't even have to lift a finger. The illegal aliens did not have to galvanize a nation to get defense for the fellow they sent down there to El Salvador. The attorneys were Johnny on the damn spot. They came looking for them. They came filing for them. And already the federal courts have said you got to bring him back. Now, that's for a non-citizen who literally broke into the country, literally broke the law, and you're saying, yeah, we got to bring him back. Bring him back? What are you talking about? Bring him back, and meanwhile, your civil rights to life, liberty, and pursuit of living, they're telling you
property.
You don't have that. Literally telling us that, and then putting that in the media. That's the kind of thing right there that shouldn't even be a conversation. My whole point is, it's cool if we can raise $200,000 or $300,000. That's great. That's wonderful. But boy, it would be even better if we didn't have to do it in the first place.
Right.
Because when it's time to make the freak off, when it's time to get together for the turn up, when it's time to organize and plot
We
that,
all kumbaya on that
does
shit.
we got money coming out the damn roof.
The
But
yin yang for that.
when it's for survival, all of a sudden we don't get nothing.
I mean, here's how I'm gonna put this. It's like when a select group of people is in danger and they try to protect themselves, society portrays them as demons. Like FBAs, for example. Each time they try to protect themselves, they find themselves in trouble. And if they don't protect themselves, then people will just laugh at their ass and say, he should have protected himself. I mean, what do you want from the FBAs? Like, what do you want from them? Seriously. That makes sense. It doesn't matter the group of people. If you're defending yourself, defend yourself and don't be punished for it. But since it's just people's favoritisms and biases, that's what he's paying for, a judge's biases, society's biases. That's what he's basically paying for. Not for his actions, but for the biases of a society.
Yep. But we're not supposed to be. We're supposed to be loyal citizens. We're supposed to be good old boys, but they just pat you on. They used to pat you on the head, good boy.
I mean, I don't want to be nobody's good boy. So if I'm being fucked over, I won't let that happen again. And that will be dealt with, first of all. Even if I risk my life. First of all, I would not be licking their boots if I was getting attacked. I would just say, I am not your Pajit. You will not attack me.
It's cool when you do it. It's wrong when I do it.
I mean, no, normalize doing it back to them. Normalize that shit within the community. And if the samples have anything to say about it, make the samples a victim. That's what I say. These Charleston whites, make them the victims first. Then proceed on to whoever else tries to violate you.
I would love to see him just run and run and run and run away from all the people that he caused the havoc to. All the people. I don't want him to delete the guy. I just want him to get humiliated. That's all I want.
No, here's what I'll do. No, I'll humiliate him before deleting him. Here's what I'll do. Is Charleston White calls himself white, right? Then guess what? I'll paint his face white and beat him up.
Oh, he's taking boxing now. Did you know? He's a boxer now.
Bro, if I see Charleston White, I don't care. I'll risk my life just to get him back. I'll actually crash out on him if I see him in my area. He's on a no-fly zone in South Bend from me. Exactly. If he's anywhere near my vicinity, he's done.
You really would do something. You would really do something.
I do something because if it's going to start a war, I don't want to start no wars, but it is what it is. I mean, tomorrow they are making it illegal today they're making it illegal for Carmelo to defend himself. Tomorrow they'll make it illegal for me to defend myself. And the problem will keep on going and going and going until it reaches everybody. Like, everyone is being victimized by everybody. I mean, seriously, this shit has to stop. Hypocrisy is what's killing democracy.
How many of rights to work? Standard ground laws. Standard ground laws is in 12, 13 other states. One of them, one of the two favorite places, Michigan and Nevada.
Bro, if I see Charleston White in Lansing, then it's done. It's done.
You ain't gonna catch no Charleston White in no doggone a low budget ass city like that. No, you might catch him in Detroit, but you ain't gonna catch him in Lansing. No, you're not gonna do that.
Yeah.
All right, man. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up real quick. I might be back on Wednesday.
I'm saying those samples who say that, the sellouts who say Carmelo Anthony isn't innocent, they should be dealt with first. They should be put in Carmelo Anthony's position. They should get strangled and see what they do in that instance. And then once they realize that they don't like what's happening to them, then they might be able to relate. I mean, you got to teach them a lesson through pain, because pain teaches even the foolish of foolish.
That's true, but we're just thankful that he is home. It's still a sad situation because it's far from over. So we shouldn't even be celebrating. But I'm just glad that the boy is home. He's on house arrest and everything. So let's just see where this goes. And
Someday,
I'm
someone's gonna
just
come up with a
listening
video
in.
that incriminates white boy.
Mm-hmm.
And when that
Yeah, man.
happens, the white demon will get exposed. Amen to that.
Amen. Well, I'm about to get
Yeah.
out of here, bro. It was good seeing you. All right, peace out. Man, this has been again, I'm gonna go over Anton's and I'm gonna be in the clouds and I'm just gonna listen in. I'm gonna listen in. I'm not gonna intrude on anybody and I'm not gonna get in the comment section. I just want to listen because fair enough. People have a right to their own opinion. People do have a right to their own opinion, just like they have a right to a fair trial. They have a right to say and do whatever they want. But there's always consequences. Always consequences for what you say. And I'm not even worried about it, Tom. He is completely out. I'm just interested because it's quite interesting to hear all these Sambos talk so much shit. It's amazing. It's going to be quite amazing, and I'm going to see how this plays out. Either way, it's going to play out crazy. Yeah, he gets 5 years in jail, whatever. No one's batting an eye. Except for these Sambo ass niggas like, I would have gave him more. 5 years, a year. You lost privileges. You're not in school. You're having people tell you what to do, what to wear, when to eat, when to sleep, when to take a shower, when to take a shit. That's their memo. Right now, he can take a shower and shave his shit in his own freaking bed. And he's too young to be shaving anyway. But I don't know. If it's self-defense, should be that way. Wait a minute. If it's self-defense, it shouldn't be any time, right? I'm not familiar with what you was. Well, I'll just put it like this, and then I gotta go. He's on house arrest. We all know this. Mainly, he can't go anywhere without contacting his officer. That's put the ankle bracelet on him or whatever. And I don't know if he's still in school. He doesn't. I mean, he can't go to school. So he's going to have to do the online thing. That's what we know. Allegedly. It shouldn't be any jail time. It shouldn't, but again, we don't know because we don't have all the evidence. We don't have all the facts. We haven't even seen the body cam footage. We haven't seen the footage. We haven't seen any type of footage at all. So we're just waiting around to see. But like I said, right now, man, the only thing that matters is that boy is home. He is home. You can sit there, eat a good, nice, good, wholesome meal. So I'm gonna go hop on it. I'm not hop on that Times Live, but I'm gonna be watching in the clouds to see what other crazy shit that he's saying that's coming out of his mouth. And I will reach y'all on Wednesday. Peace.